He has qualified his NET, SET and JRF, and I feel proud to say that he is the student of Elite Academy at Tirunelveli. I cordially welcome him to present his expertise opinion on cultural studies. Now the session is over to Mr. P. Abubakar Siddiq sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Very good evening and hearty welcome to my lecture. Hope I am clear. Is this voice okay? Or should I need to increase it? Or am I audible? Am I clear? Yeah, fine. Okay, great. Since today I've been asked to focus on cultural studies as a stream, as a study, I would like to bring it in the form of a story which you would have heard before, a story which should be a part of you in the past, but currently we need to recreate it in a different fashion. I request everyone to be very much participatory in the chat box, because there is where we are going to deal with things. And in the end, I'll justify what cultural studies is. To be honest, it's a very vast field of study. A person who is an expertise in cultural studies even couldn't bring out all the areas, part and parcels of that particular stream. So what I'm going to do is, you will be taught cultural studies in future in your classes, maybe in future in your college syllabus. But currently, my aim and my focus will be on to make you understand what really cultural studies is and what conceptions do we have of cultural studies now and what we have to think or in our future while studying cultural studies, which are the things you have to remember. So let's straight away march into this particular story. Once upon a time, there were some kings. Okay, there were some kings, queens, you can say. They were ruling, majestically in the ways that they were imparting education. They were giving everything possible. They were giving their theories, their subjective knowledge to their subjects, and everything went on well. People were studying a particular syllabi and they were really happy with whatever they got. Everything went well, unless and until there was a revolt or a questioning. Today, skeptical nature or questioning nature has become a part of our lives. Whichever comes to us, we question. Am I right? Whenever you wanted to join a course or a lecture, you will inquire. That kind of a knowledge is called as, kind of an subjective, or it's a kind of an individual knowledge. So while some subjects were not satisfied with their rule, they revolted against the particular king. And what they said is, you are not doing well, which means you are okay, but you are telling us only one part of truth, and you are hiding something inside. So what the subjects felt, we have to revolt, we have to go against the king. And what they did is, they started questioning in the name of books, or in the name of knowledge, or in the name of criticism, in the name of theory. And the subjects questioned them, you left us alone. And these subjects were from working class communities, and the kings were from higher class or upper class communities. Okay, this is one part of the story. Well, nothing has happened so far, but just a revolt has begun in the name of word war, not world war, word war. Okay, no, fine, keep it aside. Now you would have come to a conclusion of who this king is, or who these subjects are, and what it has to do with cultural studies and those things. Now I ask you a question. Keep your get ready to type it. Where did cultural studies originate? Which country? Which country did cultural studies originate? A simple question. Britain, England, France. Okay. You can tell your answers, whichever is in your understanding. India, England, France. Any other answers? Any other answers? Britain, France, England. Okay, fine. Why no Americas here? Only United Kingdom or only France? Why not America? You are studying Edward Said, who's from America again. And you have writers they're from there, Fiske or Butler. But why not America? Because I think there is partly a confusion of where it really originated. It all started from British working class situations. Okay, because when you look at who contributed to the Center of Cultural Studies, the Birmingham Center for Cultural Studies, no, who contributed? The people are Hogarth, Stuart Hall, or Raymond Williams. All the three were from traditional working class situations. Think of farmers, for instance. In the same way, in Britain, there were workers, and these three writers belong to that situations. And what they felt is why we are always neglected, why we are always not given some upfront positions. So for that situation, what they did is they started going and they began writing books where, for example, uses of literacy. That is one of the best books in cultural studies, which said, it is a clear intimation that working class people are clearly neglected. And the one point that was stressed in uses of literacy is unemployment. And that work was mostly set in 1920s, which means post World War I. So what happened is after the war, there was a prevailing and long-standing unemployment. They started protested against this unemployment. Why did unemployment happen? What will be the reasons? Because unemployment would happen when there is a crisis or when there is an unnatural situation or uncontrollable problem. So these kind of situations will lead to some crisis in the name of hunger, poverty, and unemployment. It's clear, it's normal that when unemployment comes in, poverty will peep in. So everything is clear, touched by one another. So what point it began is they were focusing on the other, which means the area which is unfocused, which is never seen at all by people. For example, you can even say if it is an old very traditional classroom, or long back in the history, only certain set of people were educated. But today, every walk of life, people are coming to schools and they are getting educated. So look at the point. This is called as transition or a cultural shift from one thing to another. So in the same way, these three writers, they were also teachers. They were protesting against one particular thing called as the Great Tradition. When you hear this particular phrase, what do you get in your mind? The Great Tradition. Can anyone tell me? The Great Tradition. When you get this name? F.R. Lees. Okay. F.R. Lees, T.S. Eliot. Okay, wonderful. And High Tradition? High Tradition? The Great Tradition, High Tradition, these kind of things? Arnold, very good. Okay, good. What is this High Tradition? What is that called as High Tradition? It was called as High Tradition because people considered certain books as sacred and other books are dismissed and inappropriate to study. For example, today in our syllabus, in our colleges, what do we have as our syllabus? Only classical literatures. And how many colleges have post-structuralism as a particular area of study or a particular paper of study? Very rare. There may be one or two. So look at this. We are talking about all the theories, Marxism, Bro-structuralism, feminism, but they are just occupying one particular paper, and all the other papers are completely texts, literary canonical texts. Canonical text means texts of high importance. The same was stressed by both F.R. Lewis and Matthew Arnold. What they said is, there are certain books, they are of canonical importance, they must be studied in education. Are you able to follow? Now they are the kings. In the story which I said, they are the kings. F.R. Lewis and Matthew Arnold. They were very good critics. They criticized life as it is. But what they stressed is a high tradition text. Now, what these three did, here there is the king, Matthew Arnold, and F.R. Lewis, and this side we have Hogarth or Hall or Raymond Williams. They said, no, not only high tradition text, go for the other, whichever is untouched by these two. Now what will happen? There stands a point of culture. Okay, here is the conflict. Real conflict started from here. Okay, it is very clear from here that you have got an understanding of how culture is started. But it's not the same as it started. The story is a different note. Okay, you protest against us. Okay, done. You have protested. You have got your rights. Okay, fine, wonderful. What I'm asking is, if they have really protested against the untouched versions of life, have they succeeded in it? Have cultural studies made it a bit clear that the notion of others should also be included? Derrida said the same, right? Derrida said the decentralized things should be included, which means center should be, there's no center, the margin should be center. For example, if we think that university widths are the margins, university widths must be considered. Are you able to follow? So this is the clear-cut notion of culture. Now, a simple question I'm going to ask you. Please try to answer this very easily. And whatever you think you can answer. Who are you? Answer this question, please. Who are you? Don't tell your name, please. That's quite obvious. Go for what you think. Please answer the question. Who are you? Hello? Am I clear? Hello? Oh, voice is breaking. Oh my God, just a minute. Is it okay now? Okay now? Oh my God, it's breaking. Okay. Yes, now okay, fine. I was asking a question. Who are you? That's all. That's the question. Pretty tricky question. Try to answer. Again, it's a huge silence. Human beings, wonderful. Literature student, great. A good consideration. Actually, I'm giving you an hierarchy. Okay, keep this in mind. I'm having some interesting answers here. Why I asked this question, I will come to you later. First, I'm going to ask you a question. Which most of them you like to work on your projects on African or tribals or feminism because you consider these are the other concepts. Am I right? Because these are the other concepts, you work on feminism or Afro-Americans or Africans or tribals. These are the other elements you think. Am I right? So fine, this is your knowledge. Understand very well, clearly, this is your knowledge. You are given a space, which is your college. You are supplied with some power, and that is your textbook. through knowledge, through education, you are taught something that you are representing this. Someone said literarian. Okay, fine. That represents your academic. A woman, that specifies your gender. Am I right? This kind of answers would be representative. You are representing something. Not they are representing something. For example, if you ask me, I would say that who are you? I would say I cannot say I'm a research scholar. That would go to my occupation. I'm an independent guy. I can't say that I'm dependent. So whenever you tell of something about you, you are representing something other. Am I right? So how many? I'm asking you a simple question. How many of you have watched Harry Potter movies? How many of you have watched Harry Potter movies? I hope, I think in my concern, many of them would have watched. Okay? Many of them would have watched. Yeah, wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. I have seen it. Okay, fine. Great. Okay. Whichever you do today, you can't bring it in your project. Am I right? In many of the colleges, they won't accept that this Harry Potter can be taken as a project. Many of them approve, but most of them disapprove. The reason behind this, there is a division which you have to note. I'll put it in the chat box. Okay. This word popular is important. This word elite is important. There is a difference between these two. Popular means the culture which belongs to the other, the masses, the group of people who are neglected. And the elite culture belongs to only a set of 2% or 3% of people who are ruling us. Clearly understand? Popular means the group of people who are neglected, or you can say normal human beings who have no power or concern. But elite, they hold the power. They treat us as subjects, so they are the ones in power. Now I am asking you, elite is controlling the popular. Am I right? The elite is controlling the popular. Okay, let them control. Okay, not an issue. For example, governments, they can control us. They can treat us as subjects. We are given a name called subjects. Am I right? Which means they can exercise anything on us. So this is how cultural studies begins, by questioning why not, why did it happen, why can't it be other way. So this is called cultural studies. Okay, fine. With this proper understanding, I am currently entering into a field which you may feel a bit pleasurable. Okay, fine. Who ruled India? Britain ruled India. Okay, fine. British people, they introduced posts, they constructed bridges, they made this uniform system in schools, the tie, the shoe, and everything. They saw that as cultural development. Am I right? So this is called cultural development. When they thought, what did they do next? How will cultural development take place? Everyone look into the chat box, please. There I'm going to bring you with a list. You can just note it down, or you can just have a screenshot or something, because here is where I'm going to bring in the whole concept. Okay, fine. I consider myself, or I think myself as Hogarth or Hall or Raymond Williams, a person in a working class. Okay, I need to bring in some cultural development. What should I do? Please answer me. I am a working class person. I wanted to bring out a change. How can I bring it? I need to bring in a cultural development. How can I bring? Is there any possibilities being not in power? Yes, there is a possibility through words. Okay. Expressions. Wonderful. When your words are not considered, when your words or writings are not considered, or again there are some problems, what will you do? Again, we have to think of another thing, which means representation. Revolting, okay. Through business, wonderful. Representation. We must come into the shoes of the other. We have no other go. If you wanted to revolt against a particular person of higher standards, you have to have a friend, or you have to have someone who can think of that culture. Or when you couldn't find that elite culture, you can't study popular culture. Okay, find it very easily through media. You can bring any kind of advertisements and you can sell as many products as possible, whatever you wish, whatever it is. Today we have something called brands. Today something we call trends. Today something we called something fashions. And these are just representations of other cultures. Okay, this is where you have to study what is high culture and low culture. That is clear. And now this particular quote is from, can you tell me who told this? Who told this? I quote someone. Culture is ordinary. Who said this? Raymond Williams. Wonderful. Culture is ordinary. Why Raymond Williams has to say that culture is ordinary? Because he belongs to a working class. Now, why I'm stressing this particular point, working class, high culture, low culture, is we have every theory immersed in cultural studies. Every theory. I would say everything. When you get power, you are not getting it as a product of opposition. You are getting it as pleasure. For example, when you eat pizza, you may get some problems in your stomach, or it may not accept you because it is a kind of an not under our tradition. So what you will feel that pizza is something pleasurable. You get something which is vulnerable as pleasure. So joy, it's a joy, it's a fun, it's a desire, and it is only because of your educated mind that pizza is okay and we can have fun with pizza. Am I right? This is a kind of culture. When a culture is prevalent and you wanted to go against that culture, I'm going to start and revolt against pizza, if I think, then that will be called as counterculture. Clear? When I revolt against a particular culture, that will come under counterculture. Okay? That is fine. Okay, you got this point, I feel. Now, what you have to do is you have to shift from elite and go for shopping, go for fashion, go for cartoons, go for films, which were considered only for elites. Now, even ordinary men also get exposed to it. There will be a kind of anger with the elites. So this is what they were talking about. When you know about postmodernism, everyone, I think so, you have studied postmodernism. Postmodernism stresses on the value that there is no high art, low art. Everything is equal. There is nothing high, nothing low. Everything should be steady. This is postmodernism. There, for example, now when a particular person like Picasso or someone who draws some paintings, and we consider it such high art, and when a person who is doodling or doing something today in today's pandemic situations, if we do some paintings or artworks, they get rarely recognized. The reason is the person, his representation, he is representing something. So that's why he is getting identified, and we couldn't get identified because of certain reasons. So this is the kind of an institutional gap we have been living in. And when you talk about Chak De India, the movie, you know very well, I feel so. How many of you have watched that movie? I don't know, but recently I watched that particular movie, and it was fantastic. And while I watched that movie, I had one particular line when a person from Northeast has come to enroll in a hockey match. The person will ask in the registration, you will welcome her. Welcome, ma'am. You are from Northeast, and we are very happy to have you. And he will speak this and that out of the mind. You'll be very happy you have come from there. And that girl will simply give a reply that I am also in India. I am also in India. Why are you seeing me in a different way? That kind of a question she'll ask. So look at the way she perceives culture. She thinks India as a culture and not my northeast or something that will come under culture. That is a whole formation. Okay. And the next thing is today we have certain things in mind clearly to say we are given certain injections in the name of pleasures and we conceive it. Okay, postmodernism has ended here. And what we come to structuralism. Structuralism is based on language. Structuralism is based on science, semiotics. Okay, in everything it is based on symbols. When you read a particular thing, I'll give you a sentence. Okay, tell me the meaning for this word. Tell me the meaning of this word. That's all. Meaning of this word. Strictly not the translation. I need the meaning of this word. Politics means why no answers? Hello? I think everyone are here. Politics, tax in ruling. Okay, rule. Wonderful. Okay, good. Politics means, if you say generally in Tamil, today they say a word, dominance. Wonderful. Again, a good thought. Politics is for people, but you are saying it's a dominance because this is the ideology we are living in, and this is the ideology which is brought. Divide and rule. When you say politics, it controls our country, it represents our nation, it gives away our votes, it recognizes people, it lives for the people. But you are telling me that it's a divide and rule, it's a dominance, it's a tactics. This is ideology. When a thing is this, but it signifies something else, this is structuralism. Okay, signifier, signified. Okay, that structuralism comes here in cultural studies. Clear? Where Marxism came in cultural studies is the beginning itself is Marxism. The beginning itself, those three belong to working class situations, and the one which fought for working class situation is for the material upliftment is Marxism. So Marxism has come, postmodernism has come, and modernism gradually, naturally it comes in because the beginning itself is from 1920s, the problem of unemployment after the war, and there came the problem of modernism, and you have got it. And Derrida, without him, I think there is no theoretical enhancement we can bring in. And he said even the author is dead because this is again a revolt. Again, it comes under cultural studies. Feminism, it represents the other. Again, it comes under cultural studies. Okay, race, we are representing the Africans. We are writing for the Dalits. Okay, it comes under cultural studies. So which not and which could not come under cultural studies is there is nothing which couldn't come under cultural studies. Hope you have got this point clear. And there is a when you look at a particular thing this way as media represents, I see it in the other way, and that is called as a revolt, and that is called as cultural studies. Okay, fine. Can you define culture? Anyone try it out? Can you define culture? Definition of culture not needed. Just at least what do you think of culture? The word culture. The word culture, the way we live. Okay, great. Anything. Come with your answers, please. After all these teachings, you must have come into a conception what cultural studies is. Way we adopt in the society, set of traditional beliefs, daily life. This is beautiful to hear from you all. Good. The way we live, it's superb. It's certain identity. Wonderful. It's an attitude followed by a society. Human development. Adoption we make for living. Wonderful. It's a discipline. Great. You all have got what culture is. And this is very good. I'm now telling you, continuing ethics that are followed by a group of people. Wonderful. Ideas, social behavior of a particular society. Social norms. Super. A good notion. You have got something about culture. Wonderful. to hear. Okay. Common views. Ah, yeah, right. This is what I'm coming with. Tamil Nadu has any culture? Tamil Nadu, does it carry any culture? Answer yes or no. That's all. Tamil Nadu carries any culture? Specific culture? Yes, 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 yes. Okay, good, good, good. That's great. Your home carries any culture? Your own house, your family carries any specific culture? Yes, again. Do you carry any specific culture? Yourself, you as an individual, I'm asking, do you carry any culture? Yes. Good, 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 good. Yes, but not specific. Okay, that's fine. For example, I'm quoting myself. If I think that I shouldn't lie to anyone, I shouldn't tell lies. It is a part of my culture. Because in a world where lies have become very frequent, I am revolting against it. It becomes a culture. Some people here will think that I alone should not study. I must study with the others and make them also clear the examination. That kind of a thought is culture when people are mostly selfish. When you are different in a common arena, it again forms a counterculture. Telling lies, if it is a culture, not to tell lies is a counterculture. And understand very well, I won't tell lies for 2 days or 3 days. That is subculture. Which means today youth culture is again called as subculture because cultures, branches are called subcultures. For example, music. There was a thing called music before. Music means there will be certain things relating to music. I don't have a good knowledge on it. But later it turned, hippies came in. Later, the rap metal came in, and there were drums, there were guitars, there were pianos, and also everything got mixed up, and it was given as a whole, organic whole. So what happens is music has evolved into a culture, started as a culture, it evolved into rooted into subcultures, and then there came a counterculture called rap metal, which came directly opposite to classical. Now, if I ask you, if classical music is a culture, and if rap metal is an opposite culture, which means an counterculture, okay? This kind of an thing can be noted in postmodernism again. And if these two are opposites, which one will you choose? Classical or rap metal? Which one will you choose? Another question arises. If you choose this way, will you belong to it, right? If you choose this way, are you okay? This is a big complication with regard to cultural studies. That is why we have no specific origin or no specific aim for cultural studies. It started as a counter movement. It started as a revolt. Everything it started well, but got this way, that way, and it went into the hands of others. And currently, it is turning apart. It's moving apart. This is the reality. When you study the book by Pramod K. Nair, sir, Introduction to Cultural Studies, there it will be given that clearly that at the end he gives a note. I don't know why cultural studies came in, but it is for some good. It is for some good, but they couldn't identify. Now I am asking you, I'm telling you, I'm coming back to the story. I'm going to conclude this. Look at this. The three of them were revolting, and I will bring you some terms one by one. Okay? First, a breakup. I'll tell you a story. They broke up with the culture, norms, traditions. They broke up. Okay. They broke up. A political force was formed. They formed into a force. A revision had to be made. They revised everything previously taught. And what happened is, just a minute. Yeah, sorry. Knowledge, actually. Knowledge. They had to give others some knowledge. And then they framed some structures structuralism comes in here. They framed some structures, okay? They framed some ideologies. Again, these things all were considered by those three. But when they were moving, while they were going in their right path, what happened is the three working class specialists were caught in certain problems. The first problem is, I would say this. Yeah, this is the first problem, governmentality. Governmentality means it's not that the government has some subjects, but we are treated as low as possible, and we are the points of exploitation. They use us, and that is what it means. And what these governments do is they insist on something very signifying. Look at this. I'm asking you a question. When you are going into a particular place to buy a product, when you have multi things to buy, or you have multiple choices, you would be confused, and naturally you may tend to choose the one which is not so desirable, but still forcibly you buy that. This is signified. You have many signifieds. You could never have one sign, but many signs. This is what Derrida too says. A text will have many signs. You have to take it away from the author. Author is dead. So take it away from the author and try this. So when they moved across, the end result was finally hybridization. Everything came into a mix-up due to globalization. Again, it comes in here. Globalization, which means there is no barriers for you. Everything is open. Everything is very open, and you can take anything from anywhere. This will be problematic for, today we have Make in India. That's a schemes kind of that. So which means there must be something which should be made here in India and not there. But the problem is we don't have enough kind of funding or enough kind of a support. So these kind of things we naturally look into our medias, and which are bringing in those things into us. Globalization. There is a globalized market. And recently I came to know that many products of our country is from other countries and not from our countries. And that's kind of very much, a kind of a difficult situation we are set in. And then this is very, very important with regard to cultural studies. What is this? I-ness. The I-ness means the individuality, the freeness, the liberal nature, which we are looking after. The problem with liberty is, too much of liberty will lead to false notions. Hybridization, sorry, that is not hybridization. Hybridization. Yeah, hybridization means mix up, hybrids. We are producing that kind of hybrids. So what I will clearly explain that, today using one particular keyboard, we are playing violin and guitar and also drums using the same one keyboard. That's not called as piano, that's called as a keyboard, where you can have anything built in, which means this is called as hybridization. You will have everything in one hole. Okay. Another thing, important part of study is ethnography. Okay. Now I am coming to clear. Ethnography. Okay. Sorry, the spellings are a bit mistaken. Okay. Ethnography. Now, here is the biggest problem. When there came something called structuralism, immediately there came something called post-structuralism. When there is something called modernism, immediately there came postmodernism. Now it turns into digimodernism and everything else. That is a different chapter. Look at, whenever something comes in, you debate and it becomes obsolete, and you go for something new. The search for something new is the point in cultural studies. The search for something new, in the sense which is hidden, you have to put into practice. And recently, one particular personal opinion of mine is, when I was doing my research, I got a thing called, I was working on comics, I was shocked to hear that comics was banned. That is US comics, United States, the comics from US were banned in many countries except India. And I felt, oh, why it was banned and what kind of a content it carried, some adult content, it seems, so it was banned. It was banned in Australia, it was banned in England and everywhere. But we are the addicts of Popeye or Marvel or DC, and the world watches it. But what kind of an impact it creates is they create some supernatural things which is out of your control. You never go for real, but you go for the surreal mixture of real and fantasy. So this kind of a world we are living in, where culture could never be defined very easily. So this kind of and point I had to insist. And then one particular aspect in the end, I would like to say is I would like to conclude, before which I had to end my story. Right? What happened to them in the end is they worked hard to bring in something, but which turned way after, because I couldn't specify the name. Among these three, one of the writers who wrote in a particular seminal essay that we never thought of including feminism into cultural studies, but it came in. We never thought of including this thing into cultural studies, but it came in, which means it is out of their control. But something good has happened with cultural studies and something bad has happened with cultural studies. Whenever you study a cultural studies text, take it as an interdisciplinary one. Science, sociology, psychology, everything is intermingled in it. Look it into a text where semiotics must be exploited. Don't see it in a literal sense and just go away. There is metaphorics in everything. This is what cultural studies teaches. When you have a notion called death of the author, you may think that, okay, author should be omitted and we have to study. That is not the right way of studying a text. That is the literal or normal way of studying the text. But metaphorical way of study is particularly different, and you have to go through with a good particular knowledge of metaphorics. So these kind of an elements, and this story is never ending, because when Arnold or Edgar Lewis were questioned of why you bringing in certain canonization and leaving out others. Now what problem occurs is everything comes into canonization, and what happens is even literature which cannot be taken in high esteem also have come under canonization and have become literary canons. So the cultural studies which had a shift from elite to popular. Elite means the person who are carrying us, and the popular means the mass people. So when popular is omitted, we revolted against it, and now we are again moving from popular to elite, which means we are going back. History repeats itself, and that happens in cultural studies too. When you revolted against Shakespeare's text should not be brought in, Shakespeare's text will never ever be neglected from the text because of its quality or maybe because of its holding. So things are different. We are not here to evaluate whether this culture is better or that culture is better, but a kind of a mass culture is recently evolving. And why I chose to talk in this fashion is I had a thought that culture studies must be everything, as in the recent lectures I have said you, beginning is different from starting. You are starting from a position, but the beginning is different. And the notion and the importance of history should be studied clearly. And I think I have brought some inputs or insights. I haven't completed it, but no, I have made a good outer connection with cultural studies so that you can think over. And when the next teachers come in and teach you, you can keep this particular point in mind. In this mind, you can just have a very good input to yourself while you learn in future. Thank you so much. I hope I have brought in some inputs, though not all. Thank you so much. Wonderful to have you all. Thank you. I got one particular question I think, in this globalized and hybridized world, is it possible to categorize people irrespective of their culture? Not possible to categorize people. We can say we are Indians. We can say we are Tamilians. That is the kind of category possible. Or you religiously you can categorize yourself. Or in the name of divisions you can categorize yourself. But there is no possible homogeneous culture, which means there is no single clear culture in this world. Everything is mixed up. when you say you are a Tamilian and go and have some kind of an, other, when you wear ties and go to schools, you are following another culture, which means mixed culture. Everything is mixed. So you don't have a particular, clear, homogeneous, reputed culture in this world. Thank you so much. Anything else? Any questions, please? Anything you need to ask? Over to the person concerned.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Audience, if you have any other questions, please post it in the chat box. The other 2 minutes.
Then what will be the future for ethnographic research? You can study cultures. Okay, ethnographic research, it can be done through cultural studies. Wonderful question. The future must be a bit biased because we can't bring in an exact, that's what I said. You can't be homogeneous in approach. You have to be heterogeneous. There is no other go. Or take the heterogeneous things out of your tradition and then bring in that ethnographic culture. You can study ethnography. It's a wonderful area of study. I know a person who even went into some tribal communities. He lived with them for his research. A person from Bitspilani, I know him. And this kind of research is really ethnographic. When we study in books, more than which we go out, we can study ethnography better in culture. But the future is certainly a bit uncertain. We can't guess which area it will head to. Thank you. Suggest some books and authors to read regarding culture studies, sir. Okay, I would say that to begin with, you can go with Ziauddin Zardar. He's a British author. Ziauddin Zardar's Cultural Studies and Pramod K. Nair sir's Cultural Studies you can go with. And when you are really clear, you can go with I have this book, Cultural Studies Reader. I think it would be a bit difficult. Cultural Studies Reader by Simon During. It contains all the essays by seminal authors, writers. If you are really very fashionable to read, because it's a very huge collection, it runs around 500 pages. So you can go with these books. But to begin with, go with Ziauddin Zardar or Pramod K. Nair. That would be a bit far better, in my view. Any other questions? For research oriented, you can go for uses of literacy, but for net aspects, you can move with these two. So that would be far better because the language will be simple. Yeah.
Audience, kindly pay your attention, please. Feedback form was in the chat box, and you can generate your e-certificates.
Yeah, hope.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful session, sir. I would like to render a very special thanks for you for giving us the complete overview of cultural studies and the key points in it. The session was very interactive, sir. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
At last, I would like to thank you, sir. At last, I would like to thank the audience who gave their active participation in the program. Thank you, audience. And another time, I'm reminding you, please fill the feedback form and generate your e-certificates. Thank you all. And you can all leave.